Welcome back to Flyer Nation. I'm Carl Zahn. This week we're sitting down with the men's basketball team, and I'm now joined by Coach Scott Trost. How are you doing today, Coach?
I'm good, Carl. How are you?
So first off, congratulations on your induction nomination into the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association. How did you feel when you found out?
Well, I mean, it's a great honor. Thank you. Not sure how high the bar is to get into that, but no, seriously, I think it's been a culmination of a lot of years in the business. I've been around a lot of really good players, a lot of really good assistant coaches. So I think it's an award that I share with a lot of people, a lot of players. But it's nice to be recognized by the Illinois basketball coaches for what you've accomplished over a period of time. But again, it's a lot of people that are a part of that award.
Yeah, so this is your 15th year coaching here at Lewis. Yes. If you had to choose a most memorable season, do you think you could do that?
Probably not. I think every season's different. I think every season has its ups and downs. I think obviously, the team 15-16 that won our first conference championship, is a memorable team. This year's team, what we accomplished at the end of the year, and what we went through this whole season to get there, I think is very memorable, and I think these guys will remember that for a long time. But I think there's a lot of ups, a lot of really good memories that you've had over that period of time, and but to say this over this one, there's a lot of them. But I would say the 15-16 where we won the conference championship the first time, and then this year winning it, and then the 2019 team where we were the #1 team in the region, hosted the regional here, which had never been done except one other time I guess it had been done. But I would say those three things probably stick out in my mind, probably the most. But there's a lot of them.
Yeah, and speaking on this year, you guys just won the GLVC Championship, so
yeah.
Congratulations. But how important was that game to the team and you?
I just I don't know if it's important or what, but I think what this team was able to accomplish in the middle of a pandemic, being tested time and time again, having to sacrifice a lot of things just to allow them to play and get on the court, I think is it's remarkable what they were able to accomplish. This season wasn't easy. It was not easy, and there was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of peaks and valleys. There was a lot of some tough conversations at times along the way, but they never quit and they stuck together, and I think it pays. It says a lot about the character of these guys on this team, and it was a great to finish off the season with the conference championship. Disappointing the way it ended against Southern Indiana, but nonetheless very, very proud of this group and what they've accomplished.
Yeah, that's great. And what are some of those big obstacles that you guys had to overcome this season?
Well,
and what improvements have you guys made?
Well, I don't know if there's obstacles. There's always obstacles, but I think not having a fall season, we didn't really get to do much in the fall, and we had 8 or 9 new guys on this team, so you didn't get to work with them. You didn't get to show them how things were done. You kind of had to do it on the fly. I think that was a challenge. Not having our locker room, not being able to do weights, not being able to have normal team meetings, not being able to have normal film sessions, not being able to do all those things were obstacles, let alone what you face daily on the court, and trying to get new guys to work together. Those were challenges, and I think what they were able to accomplish, they came together. I don't think I did much, to be honest, the last 3 weeks. I think there were some tough conversations that were had, but I think they as a group decided, hey, we need to do this. We need to get together. We need to get on the same page. We need to find a way to get this done, and all credit goes to them. And there were certain obstacles. I think they handled most of them, but give them the credit.
Yeah, and now speaking on the pandemic, what did you do as a coach in these unprecedented times to keep the team motivated?
I don't know if I did anything. I'll be honest. I think it was more our administration, College of Presidents, administrators saying, hey, we're going to have a championship. There's going to be a conference championship. There's going to be an NCAA championship. There's going to be something that these guys, let's provide a meaningful athletic experience the best we can under the situation. I think we did that. It wasn't easy, given everything I've talked about. But I think in the end, our guys were fighting to make the conference tournament because there was a chance there at times when we weren't playing very well. But I always think in the back of their mind, like, hey, we got to get in this conference tournament. And if we get in there, then anything can happen. So I think that in and of itself is a motivating thing, like get to the tournament, see what happens. And then there's the NCAA tournament. So the higher ups, the administration, the college presidents, the NCAA, whatever, that provided these guys with an opportunity to try and get to those tournaments. I think that was motivation in and of itself. For me to say anything or do anything, I'm not sure I did that much.
Now, even after your guys' loss against Southern Indiana, do you think you still left off the season on a high note?
Yeah, I mean, what they accomplished is they can be proud of that. And it was a tough loss. We've had some tough losses here. I think Southern Indiana might have given me my two worst losses as a head coach since I've been here. 2019 when they hit a buzzer beater to beat us in the regional semis, and then that one. And I think we led for 32 minutes, and it was disappointing the way we lost. I thought we controlled that game for the most part. So the way we lost was disappointing, and it stung. It hurt, and you could sense that in the locker room afterwards. But I think that's also a good thing because I know it means a lot to these guys, and so I think frustrating. But if we can just keep this group together, build on it, come back better, then I think we got a chance to do some good things next year moving forward.
Yeah, and speaking in moving forward, what do you think you guys really need to focus on for next year?
Carl, I don't know. I mean, I think we've always tried to these guys need to come back better players, and every one of them are at a certain level now, and they all need to come back better than where they are now. And if you do that, then you got a chance to be a good team. And the longer I'm in this, I think team dynamics, team chemistry, how they get along, all that stuff is more important, I think, probably than sometimes physical ability. And I think this year's team is evident of that because I think there was a time during this year where we had 5 guys going 5 different ways, and somehow, some way, we managed to pull them together, or they managed to pull themselves together. So we need to get better individually. They need to be comeback better players. They need to get stronger, all those things, yes. But team dynamics will go a long way in determining how successful we are, and that's going to be determined by what we do starting next September.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Coach, for sitting down with us today.
All right, Carl, appreciate you having me. Thank you.
When I return, I'll be joined by Vlado Zrnic. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Flyer Nation. I'm Carl Zahn. I'm now joined by Vlado Zrnic, forward of the men's basketball team. How are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you, Carl?
I'm great, thank you. So Vlado, what is your major and what drew you to it?
So currently I'm a digital marketing major. I actually just declared that last semester. And what drew me to it, I think, is just the fact that, in today's world, especially with the whole pandemic and a lot of businesses having to get online and expand on their social media accounts, it's just an ever-growing field, and I think it's just going to continue to grow in the next, say, 10 years. So I think it's just a good skill and a good major to be in.
Yeah, and when did you start playing basketball?
To be honest with you, I can't even remember. I was probably like 4 or 5. I remember I was in soccer when I was really young, in Taekwondo. Just my parents wanted me to try different sports, see what I liked, and they had me do basketball, and I just kind of stuck to it.
Now, what drew you to the basketball program here at Lewis?
I think what really drew me in, I remember the first time visiting the program and just meeting all the guys, and I just remember something felt right, something clicked. You know, it was just this gut feeling that I didn't necessarily have when I visited other campuses, and I think that was a main factor that when I was deciding, I'm like, okay, this, when I was at Lewis, it felt good, and I'm happy to have made the decision. I think it was a good decision.
That's great. Now, if you had to choose, if you could choose, what would you consider to be your best game so far?
Man, for me, I look to a couple, but I guess personally, the GLVC conference semifinal game, I remember had a pretty good game and played a lot of minutes there. And I was just really happy, especially that because I remember the game before, I don't think I did too well. And I was disappointed, not necessarily because of myself, but just because I know the team needs me to perform well. And I was just really happy that I could perform well for them in that semifinal game and help the team in winning that game, which eventually led to us winning that tournament. So overall, that was a great feeling, and I just was really, really happy that I could make a contribution to it.
That's great. Now, what are your favorite team activities to do outside of practice?
I mean, honestly, just hanging out with the guys. It's the camaraderie, just whatever it could be. It could be something stupid like going out at like 10 at night to go get Chipotle or something like that, or just but just being with the guys is what I really enjoy, and just the camaraderie and the making memories.
Now, what obstacles have you had to overcome this season with COVID?
I mean, with COVID, I think what was really hard is just we couldn't always go play basketball when we wanted to. Like, I remember there was an instance earlier on where we wanted to go to the gym on a weekend, and we just couldn't because of the protocols and stuff. And that was just really hard because I remember last year around this time, it's like if we wanted to go to the gym, whatever time would be, we'd just be able to go. But now we couldn't even do that. So, you know, it was frustrating at times, but we knew that we weren't the only school, the only team going through this. So we just kind of had to do our part and stay patient and just cooperate.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much for being on this episode of Flyer Nation.
Thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much to Coach Scott Trost and player Vlado Zrnic for being on this episode of Flyer Nation. In upcoming weeks, we'll sit down with the women's volleyball and basketball teams. I'm Carl Zahn. Thanks for watching.